ॐ शुक्लां परधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं दैवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So welcome to the course titled The Power and Glory of Vishnu Sahasranama, which really needs no introduction, because we all have grown up with it, and maybe we have listened to it or chanted it at least 1,000 times. And the Vishnu Sahasranama is a garland of 1,000 namas or names and a stuti in praise of Bhagavan Narayana. And this divine stotram has been so well handed over through the generations by our forefathers, by the gurus and all the traditions. And so this has become a very important and central part of our spiritual routine, perhaps only next to Sandhya Vandanam. So it is considered a great treasure that Bharat has to offer to the whole world. Now, in the Bhajagovindam Prakarana, Adi Shankaracharya, there is a verse, Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram Dheyam Shripati Rupamajasram Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, in which Adi Shankaracharya says, Geyam Gita, the Gita should be recited, Nama Sahasram, and the Nama Sahasra should also be chanted. Then may one meditate on the glorious form of the Lord and chant the glories. Now, Gita means which Gita? There are several Gitas, Anu Gita, Rama Gita, Uddhava Gita, and Sahasranama also. There are many Sahasranamas for Dakshinamurti, Devi, Subramanya, Ganesha, Shiva. So many we know. And so here, whenever only Gita is mentioned, it is referring to Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That is the glory of the Gita, the Krishna Arjuna Samvada Gita. And Nama Sahasra, if you say, that can only mean Vishnu Sahasranama. So these two jewels are found in the great epic Mahabharatam, composed by the great Sri Veda Vyasa. Now, even when Adi Shankaracharya, by the grace of his guru, was about to compose bhashyas, we know he composed bhashyas for the major Upanishads and Brahma Sutras and all the Prakaranas. So there is a story in which he asks the Shishya to bring the Taittiriya Upanishad, from the library. And the Shishya goes, obediently, but returns with the Vishnu Sahasranama. Then Adi Shankaracharya says, no, I have to do the Bhashyam on the Taittiriya Upanishad. So he goes back. Then again he returns with the Vishnu Sahasranama. Yeah. Then a third time, it's not deliberately that the Shishya, refuses to bring the book asked, but somehow, he brings back the same book back to the Acharya. And then Shankaracharya takes it as a divine command that I should start the Bhashyam first by writing a commentary on the Vishnu Sahasranama, which is a very beautiful Bhashyam, and Acharya Adi Shankaracharya has written a commentary on each of the 1,000 names, and also on the Purva Bhaga and the Uttara Bhaga. Yeah. Then there are other acharyas also. Parashara Bhatta of Vishishta Advaita tradition also has composed a bhashya, and also Raghavendra Swami of the Madhva tradition. Yeah? So we can see how important this stotram is, and what a great role it plays in our life. Now a little bit we will see into the background of this stotram. Now, as I said, these are the two jewels, Bhagavad Gita and Vishnu Sahasranama, the two jewels which appear in the great epic Itihasa Mahabharatam. Mahabharatam was, also the greater Bharat then, and refers to the great battle, Yuddha, fought in the Kuru dynasty between Pandavas and Kauravas, and in the present day Haryana state in Kurukshetra. Yeah? And we know the battle lasted for 18 days, and there were 18 Akshahinis, army units, 11 on the side of Kauravas and 7 on the side of the Pandavas. And the battle went on with heavy losses. It was said that 4.5 million soldiers and warriors were engaged in that great Mahabharatam Yuddham. Now, we know that the commander-in-chief on the Kaurava side was none other than Pitamaha Bhishmacharya. So on the 9th day, Krishna is talking to Arjuna. He says, Arjuna, as long as Bhishma is on the other side, there is no chance of our winning. Yeah? And also, Arjuna is a Mahabahu, mighty armed archer, but he is fighting only half-heartedly. We have seen that, what a conflict he has in his mind. In the first chapter of the Gita, we saw that. That is also a reason why he is not able to give his best. Yeah. So then what Krishna does, he says, I have to do something. And Krishna just gets off the chariot on the 9th day and, boldly proceeds towards Bhishmacharya with a wheel of another ratham that was broken, in order to finish off Bhishmacharya. You must have seen this, in the TV serial or heard about it. Then even as he is proceeding, then Arjuna runs after the Lord and says, no Bhagavan, you can't do this. Because remember your promise? You said you will be my Parthasarathi, but you will not take up arms to fight. As though the Lord forgot. How can the Lord forget? So he returns, and then, at sunset, when there's a ceasefire, Yudhishthira and the Lord, Krishna, they go over to Bhishmacharya. And they go to ask Bhishmacharya, what is the secret of destroying you? Yeah, openly. Imagine what a question. So they say, O Pitamaha, we seek your blessings. We sought it even before the start of the war, and now we want to know the secret. And there is always a secret. In the Treta Yuga, the secret of killing Ravana was with the Brahmastra, a shot at the navel. So what is the secret here? Then Bhishmacharya, gives the clue. The Bhishma, the word means the one with a terrible vow. What was the terrible vow? To be a Nitya Brahmachari, and feared by all, and he was supporting the Hastinapura. Then he reveals the secret. He says, if a woman were to appear before me, then I will not fight. I will be powerless. I will just lay down my arms. No, then it's an open invitation to attack. That's what he is telling, no, Bhishma. And so they return, and then on the 10th day, what happens? We know the story. I think most of you know it. That there is this Napunsaka called Shikhandi, or we say Shikhandini also, neither male nor female, a sibling of Draupadi and Drishtadyumna. And this Shikhandi is none other than Amba of the previous birth. I won't go into that story, but there's a story about how Amba was furious with Bhishmacharya because he brought the three sisters to Hastinapura for them to get married to his sibling Vichitravirya and all that, which did not happen. And so she vowed, I'm going to take revenge. And so that Amba of the previous birth is the Shikhandi of the current birth. See, all this is the law of karma. How one cannot escape the karma phalam. And so Krishna now, has a good, plot. And so at the opportune moment, what happens? The Shikhandi comes in front of Arjuna. Yeah, in front of Arjuna, which means between Bhishmacharya and Arjuna. And then Bhishmacharya, true to his promise, and he just puts down his arms. And Arjuna is showering arrows, and with a conflict still in his mind, of course. And then the great legend, that is Bhishma, falls. Yeah, falls off the chariot, but it does not fall on the ground. Yeah, because it's the Dwapara Yuga, so his body is like suspended, and there is a bed of arrows. Yeah. And so that is the story about how Bhishmacharya falls, on the 10th day. And all the devatas, they shower flowers and praise, from the heavens. Yeah? And then meanwhile, what happens? The war has to continue for 18 days, and with heavy losses on either side. And how many survivors were there at the end? 10 out of the 4+ million warriors. Yeah. So then, of course, we know that the Pandavas win the war. Yeah. And then the entire Kurukshetra has become like a crematorium now. Fires and pyres are burning everywhere. Broken chariots. It's a very ghastly and a very terrible scene. And so all this description is there in the Mahabharatam. Then all the widows, and the mothers, they come and to, offer their prayers or for whatever reason. And Kunti also comes, and then she reveals to Yudhishthira what? That Karna was your elder brother. And just imagine the plight of Yudhishthira now. Yudhishthira is just shocked and then grieved, and he is inconsolable. He said, Amma, had you told me this before, I would have not even fought the war. As though it is in our hands, Karma phalam is going to be reaped, and time just relentlessly goes on, and whatever happens, happens by that intelligent order. Yeah. But Yudhishthira is feeling very, very sad, And now that he is been announced as a Chakravarti, king, but he refuses. He says, I don't want the kingdom. And he's of course naturally very, very dispassionate, and he denies the kingdom, and he is very grieved. Yeah. Then at that time Krishna consoles Yudhishthira, and Vedavyasacharya also consoles and says that, come on Yudhishthira, this was a dharma yuddha, and it is not befitting for you to be like this. Let us go and meet Bhishmacharya. Yeah. And you all know Bhishma is a Ichhamrityuhu. The power of Ichhamrityuhu is he could will his departure. And so Bhishmacharya is waiting for the Uttarayana Punyakala. Yeah. And then Yudhishthira says, मैं किस मुंह से जाऊंगा? How can I face the great Bhishmacharya? We asked him how to conquer him. He told us. And now that he is lying on the bed of arrows, how can I face him? Krishna, you also come. So Krishna also accompanies, and they all go to the great Bhishmacharya. And Bhishmacharya is the great yogi, he is a jnani, and he greets them most lovingly. And he requests Arjuna to give him a cushion, yeah, with arrows. And Arjuna provides 3 more arrows, and then his head is steadied so he can see everybody. And his glance, of course, falls on Shri Krishna. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen now? Yeah. So then there is a beautiful dialogue, a conversation between Bhishmacharya and Yudhishthira. This is called Anushasana Parva. Then Bhishmacharya talks about the Rajadharma, economics, politics, what are the duties of a Chakravarti emperor, and he consoles Yudhishthira. He says, Yudhishthira, you have done your dharma, yeah, and you have defended dharma. Why are you feeling sad? And then he says that event, now the war is over, but it is natural that the haunting memories will be there. Like even for us, we often think, oh, I should have done that at that time, I should not have done that. So that moment has gone, but in the present there are regrets and guilt feelings. Yeah? So very beautifully Bhishmacharya consoles Yudhishthira and says, now that you are a Chakravarti, you should perform the Ashwamedha Yajna, Rajasuya Yajna, and prepare for mass Annadanam and donations. Come on, prepare for all this. And this way your mind will be distracted, it will be positively engaged, and your grief will be lessened. Yeah? And so beautifully he talks about all these dharmas, and he gives all these advice and counsel. Even in the Republic Day parade we see this, no? Paramavir Chakra is given, Ashok Chakra, and so it is very harsh, when we see the mothers and the widows receiving the awards, no? But it is said that is the Kshatriya Dharma. Kshatriya Dharma is the most intense, yeah? And that is the way it is, period. But here Bhishmacharya is trying to console Yudhishthira, no? Then Yudhishthira is somewhat satisfied, and consoled. But then he says that, okay, a Chakravarti king can do all this, Mahadanam and this Annadanam, Ashwamedha Yajna and all that. But how will the common person do this? The common person does not have wealth to buy all the dravyas and to do all this, no? And so Yudhishthira asks 6 questions, to Bhishmacharya, and those questions are, he says that what is that one sadhana, by which one would gain all the purusharthas, yeah? I want to know that. What is the dharma of all the dharmas? And those 6 questions come in this Purva Bhaga of the Vishnu Sahasranama, which we will see now. Let us chant those. You all know that. Now, you know that the Mahabharatam is a narration within a narration within a narration. Yeah. So, Ugra Shravas is narrating to Shaunaka, a rishi. Oh, you know what? There is Mahabharata happened. It happened between Vaishampayana and Janamajayam. And then in their narration, there are further narrations. Om Namo Vishnave Prabhavishnave Sri Vaishampayana Uvacha Shrutva Dharmana Sheshena Pavanani Cha Sarvashah Yudhishthira Shantanavam Punarevabhya Bhashata. Shrutva, Dharman Asheshena Pavanani Cha Sarvashah. So Vaishampayana is narrating that Yudhishthira said this to Shantanava, Bhishmacharya, that yes, I have heard all these wonderful teachings about Rajadharma, yeah, but Punaha eva abhya bhashata, yet I have to ask something else. What is that? Yudhishthira uvacha Kimekam daivatam loke kim vapyekam parayanam stuvantah kankamarchantah prapnuyurmanava shubham को धर्मः सर्वधर्माणां भवतः परमो मतः किंजपन्मुच्यते जन्तु जन्म संसार बन्धनात्. So these are the 6 questions Yudhishthira asks Bhishmacharya in the 2 verses. Kim ekam daivatam loke? Which is that one devata or the supreme in this world? Kim va api ekam parayanam? Whom we should worship and do parayanam? Who is the ultimate destination? No, param ayanam. Then stuvanta kankamarchantaha, worshipping whom? Shall we, would one gain all the auspicious results? Shubham prapnuyuhu manavaha. Then ko dharmaha sarva dharmanam. What is the dharma of all the dharmas? Bhavataha paramo mataha. In your opinion, O Pitamaha, what do you consider to be the greatest dharma? Kin japan muchyate jantuhu janma samsara bandhanat. And how would one be free from the cycle of births and deaths? Worshipping whom? Yeah. So then what does Bhishmacharya say? Bhishma uvacha jagat prabhum devadevam anantam purushottamam stuvan nama sahasrena purusha satatothitaha tameva charchayan nityam bhaktya purushamavyayam dhyayan stuvan namasyanscha yajamanas cha. And then Bhishma answers that there is only one answer, and that is the Jagat Prabhu. Yeah. So then it is that moment that Bhishmacharya reveals the 1,000 names of the Lord and says that that is the Vishnu Sahasranama. By worshipping the one Devata with the 1,000 names, one would go beyond sorrow, one would fulfill all the Purusharthas and be connected to the highest principle. Yeah. Now, we see that some people chant just one nama, Rama, 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 Rama. Then why 1,000 names? So both are fine. If we chant one nama like Tyagaraja did, Tyagaraja Swami did, we also get to the highest result. Yeah, that Ekam Devata. But the 1,000 namas, why do we chant that? Because each nama is a window through which I can understand one aspect of the Lord. Yeah. Now, you take any one of us, one person. The person is a bharya, a wife, or amma. She's called amma or bharya or beti or president madam, or she may be a grandmother, party. Yeah. So there are all these relations, how we would approach the one person as per the role. Yeah. Bhagini, boss, amma, all these akka, all these we have for the same person. Yeah? So too, the one Bhagavan, Narayana, when perceived through various viewpoints, that is where the nama is a window. The window to appreciate the glory of the Lord in not just 1,000 ways, infinite ways. Sahasra means 1,000 in Sanskritam, but really it stands for infinite. So whether it is you worship the one Devata with one nama or 100 namas, Ashtotra or 1,000 or Laksharchana you do, it is all going to the one, supreme being. Yeah. Now, we have all, of course, we have learnt a lot of chanting, Narayanam, Vishnu Sahasranama, Gita also, initially without knowing the meaning. Is it not? Yeah. And in fact, our culture encourages this also, whether it's maths or chemistry. We have to learn by rote first and then only understand the significance later. No? So, what is the difference? The difference is when we chant a stotram without knowing the meaning, it is a punya karma, no doubt. But there is only what? Shabda Spuranam. That is, any stotram you take, we would have gone through the Akshara Mala of the Devanagari alphabet forwards and back. Yeah. And you know that all the aksharas of Sanskritam are cosmic sounds. Cosmic sounds, and they purify the antakaranam. And then, it's filled with sattva, filled with bhakti, and we're able to connect to that, the highest principle, we call it God. Yeah. Then how does that help us? It helps us with detachment to the worldly matters, what we are stuck with. Yeah, when we get a vision of something higher, something beyond, then the world that we live in is not so intimidating, not so stressful or threatening. That is one part. Yeah? Now, when I chant a stotram, understanding the meaning, what does Vishnu mean? Rathanga Pani, what does each of the words mean? Then, in addition to the Shabda Spuranam, there is what? Artha Spuranam. There is the Vritti Jnanam. Vritti Jnanam is the understanding in the Buddhi. Yeah? So then we know there is a cognitive change in my attitude, in my understanding, in my approach to life. Yeah? In fact, Shastra says there is more punyam when you chant something with understanding. Even as Gita students, do we not find a difference? After understanding the shlokas of the Gita, is it the same as just reciting the verses on a Gita Jayanti? There is a whole world of a difference. Understanding the meaning and chanting, and just merely chanting. Yeah. So that is the point here, and how the 1,000 names, some are describing the Lord as an avatara, Vamana avatara, Rama avatara, Krishna avatara. Then there are some names which are describing the attributes, Dhrida Nishchayaha, and there are names like Anandaha, Satyam. Satyam is the truth, the Lord who is the Satyam, the Lord who is Ananda Swarupa, the Lord who is Vamana, Rama, the Lord who is, an attribute like Dakshaha, capable, Samarthaha. So like that we get the namas are describing the Saguna manifestations and the Nirguna manifestations. So what does it all result in? Cosmic darshanam. And this is exactly what Krishna revealed to Arjuna in chapter 11, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga chapter of the Gita. Yeah? That is, all that is here is Ishvaraha, the past, present, future, Samvatsara, day, night, season is Ishvara, avatars are Ishvara, rivers and mountains are Ishvara, qualities and attributes are Ishvara. All this we are going to see are the namas in the Vishnu Sahasranama. So there are namas for describing the essential Swarupa, Nirguna Swarupa of Ishvara, then there are Saguna descriptions, and then there are avatara descriptions. No? Then there are also repetitions. No? The word Vishnu appears more than once, but it has different meanings. Then there are different words but having same meaning, like Shripati, Madhava, both mean the consort of Mahalakshmi. Yeah? So like that there is a whole variety here describing the glory of Saguna Ishvara and the Nirguna Ishvara, and each nama is unique and distinct, and a nominative singular, and it is a window through which I can appreciate the Bhagavan. Yeah? Now, what happens really when I chant? As one chants and explores, then are we not connected to the samashti, the totality, the larger picture? Yeah. Then the more I chant, the mind is going to have a high sattvic vibration. High sattvic vibration. Then our problems and our issues of daily life or with the world will become insignificant. Yeah, will become insignificant. Why? Because we are bringing in more and more Ishvara into one's life. Yeah. So before, I would be feeling an isolated part, insignificant part. Now the whole world is out there and I'm just, like a microorganism. Yeah. And so when my perception is like that, I'm isolated, then there is fear, there is stress, there is insecurity. But once I appreciate the whole universe as divine, as the cosmic form of Ishvara, then I have included myself. I see not a random chaotic universe, but I see a perfectly designed, intelligently ordered universe. Yeah? And then I'm able to accept everything with less and less resistance over time and more acceptance. Yeah? That all of us are interconnected. We are living in a mutually interdependent universe, and so I can relax as a baby can relax in the arms of the universal parents, Parvati Parameshwaraha. And then that is the famous sentence, all that is here is Ishvaraha. And that's why Puja Swamiji's statement is so important, that for us there is not one God, there are not even many gods, but there is only God. Yeah? So whatever happens is seen as, as a form of divinity. Yeah? So that is the great benefit of this Vishwarupa Darshanam. So, we have seen this in the Gita also. No? How the mind matures from Eka Rupa Ishvara Darshanam to Aneka Rupa Ishvara Darshanam, and finally to Arupa Atma Rupena Ishvara Darshanam. Yeah, so then I perceive the whole world as divine, but then that is not complete. No, I see that Vishnu out there in the form of everything, the whole world, is right here as my very Swarupaha. And so that is when one is totally free. Yeah, and that we know now by the study of our Vedanta, Aham Brahma Asmi, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Jana Tishtati. So Krishna has told us repeatedly in the Gita that know me as you, as your essence, as your core personality, and as your very Swarupaha. I am never away from you. Yeah? So this entire universe is Ishvara. All that is here is Ishvaraha. Hence now, we know that all the namas, they're all pointing to one. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And that one is Vishnu. Yeah? And so the Sahasranamas that are there for us to do daily Parayanam bring us the Chitta Shuddhi. They calm the mind, they fill the mind with the punyam of Chitta Shuddhi, and with such a mature mind, I'm able to understand each of the namas. So Puja Swamiji would say that especially Gita students, should do such a course, Vishnu Sahasranama, where one would understand all the names, and that will help your Gita study even more. It's mutual actually, both go together. And if you have these two, Vishnu Sahasranama with meanings and the Gita, then study is more or less complete. Yeah? So now that is a little introduction to the Vishnu Sahasranama. Now you all know that there are these three sections, primarily. There is a Purva Bhaga. We just saw some of the Purva Bhaga, invocatory verses, then how Yudhishthira approaches Bhishmacharya with the 6 questions, and Bhishmacharya replies with the description of how the one Lord has to be praised and worshipped, and that Lord is right next to you, Yudhishthira, on that battlefield. Yeah? And then after that there are some Dhyana Shlokas, very beautiful Dhyana Shlokas, by which we can do a Saguna Brahma Dhyanam. We meditate on the Rupa of the Lord, like Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam. In fact, Puja Swamiji taught us this Dhyana Shloka along with a melody. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam, and so on. So I'll sing the full version at some point of time. So these are the dhyana shlokas by which we can fill the mind with the image of Bhagwan. Saguna image, of course. We are not talking about Adrishyam, Agotram, Avarnam, Nirguna Brahma here. And so after that, there is the Nyasa portion. The Nyasa portion in your books is, where the Vaidika will touch different parts of the body and invoke the Devatas as a purifying ritual. Then after that, there is the Madhyama Bhaga, which is the most important and commented upon. And this is where I would like to focus maximum on Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Ityadi. Then after that, there is the Uttara Bhaga, which is all about Phalashruti. Very important. Everybody wants to know what I will gain by doing this, by doing that. And all that is explained in the last section, where there are immense benefits. In fact, our Vedas have talked about it. Charaka Samhita says if you have urinary problems and respiratory problems, chant the Vishnu Sahasranama. And you all must have heard the story where once Kanchi Mahaperiva was down with 104-degree fever. And these Mahatmas in general, they do not get into medication and chemical-based allopathic treatment. Just in the last century, 60s, the story is about. So Kanchi Mahaperiva said, you all do one thing. You bring 150 Vedic Pandits and have them chant the Vishnu Sahasranama thrice. That's it. That's all they did. The fever just came down. So these are not miracle stories. These are very, very scientific also, we can say. So the Phalashruti describes, how one would gain fame, health benefits, of course, then memory, leadership qualities, Plus, these are all the fringe benefits, all the way up to moksha, infinite jnana, phala. So, and the Phalashruti also has that section, where Devi Parvati asks Shiva, is there a shortcut? How Vishnu Sahasranama with the Uttara Bhaga and Purva Bhaga will take a good 40 minutes for a beginner. Is there a shortcut? And Shiva says, yes, my dear, but the shortcut is only for learned people, for great Mahatmas who don't have time. So don't make it an excuse. In this modern age, we were all busy with mobiles and browsing. So, we find an excuse for not having time, not for those people. And so the answer is given is chant the name of Sri Rama 3 times, and that will be equivalent to the Vishnu Sahasranama. And the Rama mantra is a Taraka mantra. Taraka means Tarayati, that crosses over the ocean of samsara. Now, so that is about the Vishnu Sahasranama. So I would like to enter at least the one verse here. Let's do that. So that these just 1 minute. There are about 108, I think, verses, 108 verses, and all these names are concatenated together. Now, each of them are unique. They're not connected to each other. And some are samasas, compound words, and some are small words. So, here we see, we will try to cover most of these names. And today, I would like to at least begin with the first here it is. Harihi Om. So the Vishnu Sahasranama, according to Pujya Swamiji, begins with Om. For some people it may not, but what is the harm? One more Nama, And we know that the Om is the designation of Brahma. There is a whole Upanishad devoted to Om. And A, U, Ma. See, whenever you open the mouth, it has to be A. And when you close, it has to be Ma. And so Om covers everything. All the three avasthas in life, the three gunas, all the lokas, all the range of sounds are between A and So that is Om. And Om is also a Mangala Suchaka Shabda. Mangala Suchaka means very auspicious. That's why all our mantras we prefix an Om. Yeah, so that is Om. And Om is also called the Nama, shortest Nama for Brahma, for Bhagavan. Just as we all have names, when I call any one of you, only you will respond. So if we want to call Bhagavan, shortest Nama is Om. Yeah? And it is a sound form for Brahma. And so since Om is everything, we come to the second Nama, that is Vishwam. Vishwam is the whole manifest form of the universe, that is Vishwam. This entire Panchabhautika universe is Vishwam, the world that we experience with our senses and the mind. Yeah? That is the Vishwam, known and unknown. This entire Prapancha is Vishwam. The two names are over. Then Vishnu. The first verse is, let me break the sandhis. Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhuta Krit Bhuta Bhridbhavo Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavanaha. So the first word Nama we said is Om. I just described it. Then Vishwam, then Vishnu, then Vashatkaraha, then Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu, then Bhuta Krit, Bhuta Bhrit, Bhavaha, Bhutatma, and finally Bhuta Bhavanaha. Lot of Bhuta. Bhuta doesn't mean ghost. So Bhuta means Bhavati iti Bhuta, means that which is put together, which is manifest. It's a karya. That is Bhuta. Any existing thing is a Bhuta. So how many namas do we have in the first verse? 9 or 10? 10 including Om. 9 excluding Om. Simple. Okay. So Vishwam is the entire cosmic form. Yeah, entire universe. Then Vishnu. Now, Vishnu is a beautiful name. It is said that if you want to name your boys, or your grandchildren, use the Vishnu Sahasranama. And for daughters, go to Lalita Sahasranama. As per the rules, we have to consult an astrologer also how to do that. But this is where we should go to and not give modern names, to our children. So Vishnu means Vyapnoti Sarvam or Vishati. Vish means to enter and Vyap means to pervade. So Vishnu is that which pervades the whole universe. And how does Bhagavan pervade the whole universe? In the Gita, as Gita students should have no difficulty with this part. Bhagavan pervades the universe as Sat and Chit, as the pure existence, as the Adhara. So that is the real meaning of Vishnu. Antar Bahishcha Tat Sarvam Vyaptam Narayana Sthitaha. Purusha Suktam we have that Vishnu is Antaha, inside, Bahihi, outside. And where is that Narayana? Not. That is the meaning of Vishnu. Then Vashatkaraha. Now, Vashatkaraha. See, the word Vashat is the Vedic word for Swaha. Now, you have all observed a Vedic fire ritual where one invokes the Devata and offers, and with each offering there will be Swaha, Swaha. So in Vedic times they would say Vashat, Vashat. So whom are we doing Vashat and Swaha for? That is Bhagavan. Yeah. Even though our offerings, the Agni Devata will take it towards the respective Devatas, Varuna, Agni, Indra, Chandra. But ultimately, Sarvadeva Namaskaraha Keshavam Pratigachati. Ultimately, there is only the one supreme. That is the Vashatkaraha. One who is invoked through a fire ritual. where we say Vashat, or it means also Vashat, fire ritual. Yeah. Then Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhuhu. Bhuta means that which is past. Bhavya means which is going to come, future. And Bhavat is the present continuous form of Bhu Dhatu. That which is right now. In fact, there is only present. Now, as Vedanta students, we know that the past is only in my mind as a thought. Future is also in my mind as a thought. What will happen? Now, what will happen tomorrow? What has happened? So the mind is going back and forth, but really there is only now. So here this Nama is very beautiful. Oh Lord, you are Prabhu. You are the Lord of the past, present and future. Which means what? The Lord is timeless. The truth of time is timelessness. The one who is not bound by time. Then what is bound by time? Kshetram. Our bodies, our minds. We are, when we are identified with the Kshetram, we are bound by time. But the Lord is free from the grip of time, unaffected by time. Yeah? Then Bhutakrit. Bhutakrit is very simple. The Karta of Bhutanam. Bhutanam Karta. The creator. Yeah? So we have seen many times how the Paramapurusha, by the power of Maya, manifests as the firstborn creator, Hiranyagarbha. Yeah? So we can say that Brahmadev, creator, is none other than Vishnu. Yeah? In fact, in the Shiva Sahasranama, there is a Nama Vishnu. And in Vishnu Sahasranama, there is Shiva. So Shiva is Vishnu, Vishnu is Shiva. That is our understanding. So here the creator, you are the creator means what? That supreme being has taken on the role of Srishti, Srishtikarta. That is Bhutakrit. Then Bhutabhrit. Bhrit means to sustain, to palayati, to take care of, nourish. Yeah. So who is the Bharta of all the Bhutas? You again. We are talking about only the one Bhagavan. So Bhagavan not only creates the Srishti, has created all of us, put together intelligently all the Kshetrams, but also sustains it. How does Bhagavan sustain it? You see, where we need to breathe, there is oxygen. Baby needs milk, milk is there. Water is there to quench the thirst. Food is there to satisfy the hunger. Weather conditions are there, food is available. So this nourishing part of Prakriti is none other than you. So you are Bhuta Bhrit. You are the sustainer. Then Bhavaha. Bhavaha means an essence. So this is the easiness. No? Who is the Adhara? Who is the support for the entire universe? You, as Bhavaha, as the essence. Yeah, just like the modern example, electricity is the basis for the devices to function. So you, Narayana, you are the Bhavaha for the entire universe to function, yeah, smoothly. So Bhavaha also includes, not Bhava, Bhuta Bhrit. Who has created all the laws of gravity, the, orbits of the planets, the periodic seasons, day and night. That is called the sustaining power of Ishvara, Bhuta Bhrit. Then Bhuta Bhavanaha. Bhuta Bhavana is actually both. That is the one who creates and makes them grow and develop. Yeah? Oh, did I miss one? Bhutatma. Yes. Bhutatma is Bhutanam Atma. Very simple. Atma means the core essence, the indweller, Antaryami. And that is you. So you are in our hearts. You are the core essence of the hearts. You are the Kshetrajnaha. We should connect now to these names, Purushaha, Kshetrajnaha, Antaryami, Ishvaraha, all these words that we are seeing in the Gita. In other words, you are the core tattvam. Yeah? So this nama is this is the first verse. Om Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhuta Krit Bhuta Bhritbhavo Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavanaha. So these are the 10 names concatenated together. Once again, Om, then Vishwam, Vishnu, Vashatkaraha, Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. First line, Bhuta Krit, Bhuta Bhrit, Bhavaha, Bhutatma, Bhuta Bhavanaha. And so on it continues. Bhutatma, Paramatma cha Muktanam, Paramagatihi, Avyaya Purusha Sakshi, Kshetra Nyokshara Evacha, and so on. Yeah. So we are going to see these verses, and some, as I told you, are repetitions, and some are different words, but they mean the same. Meaning is the same. Yeah. So we can gloss over some names, and some we need to spend more time here and there, and some are connected to the stories from the Puranas, avatars, the glory of all the avatara, Krishna, Rama. And so finally we see that how each of these namas is a viewpoint of appreciation to the one shining through many. The familiar example, the one person dons different costumes, to play different roles in different films, and performs different scripts, but backstage he is the same person. Yeah, the person is called by different names. By his children is called daddy, or a friend, or a boss, or an employee, driver, cook, whatever. But the person is the person, and that is the whole. That is the cosmic Purusha. Yeah. So we should be able to cover maybe 3 or 4 verses. Now that I've given an introduction, we will pick up some speed, and the plan is to focus on this Madhyama Bhaga. And also, as I said, I will do the Dhyana Shlokas just before this Madhyama Bhaga. And some of it we've seen in the Gita context also. Bhuvpadau Yasyana Bhir Veda Suranilas Chandra Surya Chanetre. How the cosmic Purusha is given a form. The eyes are the sun and moon, and so on. We have seen that. So that should also not be very difficult. Yeah. And then Phalashruti. Phalashruti is very easy. What is the Prayojanam? But that also here and there I will bring in some Phalashruti, even as we do the 1000 namas. Okay. So now I will conclude. Kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakriti svabhavat karomi atyat sakalam parasmai Narayanayeti samarpayami. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahishaah go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalini deshoyam shobharahitah brahmana santu nirbhayaah Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayah sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor ma amritangamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Tat Sat